do not live no more. They do not live no more. And I'm going to hold you accountable. So that's all I've got to say. God bless you and thank you. And I'm ready. This is our life. All right, what's the time, Brother Black?
So the official timekeeper is in the back. You got two of them. They're going to hold the sign. There you go. Okay. All right. Next, we got Richard Jones. You got 5 minutes.
How y'all doing?
First of all, I want to thank Michael Clack. And I'm really ready to get started, but I've been ever since I was the age of 19 years old, I've been mentoring and doing community service in the city. And I have not paused. Even when I was in Orlando, Florida, running an AAU basketball organization, I was still representing the city. Up to this present day and present issues that we are now facing, I am speaking like the Ray Vaughn situation. That's the little boy that was killed by the state troopers. I created the word in signatures for him to get justice. And as of the end of March, I started campaigning. But until the end of March, I dedicated a lot of my time toward justice for that young man. And everybody that supported that effort, I would like to say thank you. And that family well deserved it. And the fight still is continuing. I presently am very tired of the violence that's in our city. I have had nice, calm, and cool conversations with Chief Green, and I don't like the results that I see. So it's time to put a little bit more pressure from a different situation, because one thing about me, I have always stood up for the city, despite the words that is familiar in political means that just because you support us, don't mean we're going to support you. Which means that even though when somebody comes up with an idea to stabilize the water fund and zero balance all of the relevant water accounts, they get shaded among them. And when you see 9,000 people lose their house because of water leaks, it makes you want to run for office. When you approach city council many of times and telling them, Eric Mays told me 22 million to stabilize the water fund. Dan Kilby told me it could be done. The CFO at that time of the city of Flint said it could be done, and nobody even put it on the floor. So yeah, I want to put it on the floor. That's why I'm running. And another reason why I'm running, because it's time out for shade. Our city, this neighborhood, this ward, this city, because yeah, I'm born and raised in the third ward, but I've been in the fifth, I've been in the sixth, I've been in the seventh, I've been in the eighth, I've been in the first, I've been in the second, been all over this city. And I don't like what I see. I see a lot of grass and dirt. There used to be beautiful homes that have beautiful people living inside of them. That's why I'm running. Because we need somebody to stand up for our city and stop our homes from going to land. We need somebody to go put it on the floor. That's rehab these houses. It's better to have a house that somebody jumped in and victimized and tore your sliding off and stole your one form of electricity and then talk about you. It's better to have one of those houses than all of this grass and dirt that I've seen in those years. I would rather have a house that has been attacked twice during this political campaign versus that grass and dirt that is all over our city. And I also want to do something about that. I want to bring some affordable housing that right now ain't being available because those apartments are too high. I'm good. You don't got to make it in. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Richard. All right, so there are two different categories we'll be asking questions from. Crime, like economic development, water prices, and so we are going to start. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going to be, come on in. My daughter is going to be first. So,
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Clack. The first question is crime prevention strategies. The third ward is Flint's largest ward by land, making it challenging. You hear me now? The third ward is Flint's largest ward by land area, making it challenging for police effectively. What specific strategies would you implement to enhance public safety and reduce crime in our neighborhoods?
Okay, thank you. Question was what I do to the money. Here's the question.
What specific strategies would you implement to enhance public safety and reduce crime in our neighborhoods?
All right, well, first of all, crime is the responsibility of the chief of police. First of all, I would push to get a police chief who is hard on crime. I would push to get a police chief that has a plan about crime. When we had Police Chief Johnson, there was a plan, and crime went down. So, as a council person, one thing we do, we control the budget. We control the budget. And if you want to eliminate crime, you have to have a plan. And if you fail the plan to fail. And that's why we're failing not on the third ward in this entire city, because there is no plan. And I think we ought to hold those individuals, we ought to hold the mayor accountable, because we are co-equal part of government. We're equal with the mayor. We ought to hold the police chief accountable. And as council representatives, we set the budget and we hold the purse. So there's no magic wand how to
It's 6 o'clock.
But you at least have to have a plan. And when you work the plan, you have to work the plan. But the city of Flint does not have a plan because the police chief hasn't given us a plan. Even after many years, the Flint City Council, especially Councilperson Tanya Burns, have asked the police chief for a plan. And what he said, well, we got one, we'll use the one that we've been having. Crime is up.
First of all, I want to thank my boy Mike Weezy for bringing this up when I was talking to him about this crime because I really didn't want to give it my solution when it came to this. But I will say this. I would be at them hotspots. I would be at them hotspots. I would have me 4, 5, 6 police cars in these parking lots. And I would stop people from allowing themselves to keep themselves up in these parking lots. And I hate that I have to expose that to y'all, because some things that I do discuss with Chief Green, I will not discuss with you. But I will say that. And another thing that I'm doing, I'm encouraging these people to think about more than themselves out in these streets. Because at the end of the day, police is called reaction. That means we are reacting to someone's negative behavior. We gotta reach out and stop creating so many people with so many negative behavior. And we need to write some kind of legislation banning these guns. And we need to create some kind of gun-free zone or some of our kids can citywide. We need to so many problems when it comes to fighting. And our police force need new, or more, we're going to say more, we're going to be positive. Our police force need more grant writers, more grant searchers. We need more Flint police on our streets. Thank you.
Okay, next question. Let's start this with Mr. Jones. Community policing and law enforcement relations. Many residents feel there's a disconnect between law enforcement and the community. How would you work to build strong relationships between the police and the third ward residents?
Visibility. You can't trust nobody you don't see. Or whenever you bump into them, it's a bad okay. Be visible. Tell them to say hi. Meet them at that bus stop in the morning. Have a nice day. Ain't nobody gonna come around here and do nothing. But we got to have more Flint police. How many crimes have y'all seen in the city of Flint that have 4 only Flint police cars there? If it's 2 or more cars, now sometimes you may see 2 Flint police, but if it's 3, you guarantee it's probably 1 police, 1 sheriff, and 1 state. Most of the time, if it's 2, it's 2 state police. State police are state highway patrol. Why are they more than our streets? More than our Flint police. But you can't kick nobody out if you ain't going to replace them. Once again, the community needs to see more police. And maybe the more the police interact with the community, they won't have such a negative talk behavior towards these people. Because our neighbors are getting criminal justice, and they're taught to hate us. They're taught to harass us. And they hate us, and they arrest us. And I'm talking about some, because the city of Flint police that I know, like Scotty Moxley, take it hot out of his school, born and raised in the city of Flint. Maybe we need to give more city of Flint police officers. Also, thank you.
Well, let me say this about community policing. Years ago, it was called the Foot Patrol. Hired by Terry Green. Y'all remember, she was one of the ones that were all in the foot patrol. The Stevens, Norma Stevens, Barbara Stevens, they live right in the third ward. So community policing is nothing new. But to say, you know what, my dad used to tell me, I said, Dad, we need to do this, this, and this. He would say, well, son, how you gonna pay for it? It's good to have grand ideas, but talk is cheap. It takes money to buy land. How are we going to pay for the tax? The police. You have business leaving Flint. We have more business getting tax breaks. So how are we going to pay for it? See, when you're a homeowner, how many of y'all pay taxes, property taxes? Just raise your hand. When you're a homeowner, you understand it. When you don't own a home, don't live in a home, don't live in the community, you don't understand it. And to put the burden of more police, it costs more taxes. And we need more businesses to underwrite, to have more police. Community policing. We need to get a tax revenue. And quit giving all the 501c3 crooked organizations to our tax dollars and put our tax dollars where it counts. So people.
Can you hear me? Thank you. So the next question is centered around youth engagement and crime reduction. A significant portion of crime involves young people. What initiatives do you support to provide at-risk youth with alternatives to crime, such as job training, mentorship, or recreational programs?
Well, there's a lot of old folk committing crime too. See, we just want to put it on the young folk. There's a lot of old folks committing crime. It's a crime when you fill out an affidavit and swear under oath and lie on the affidavit that you're a resident of the third ward, which that's a crime. So y'all want to, let's get real. That's a crime. I challenge Mr. Jones, because Mr. Jones said in the Flint City Council that he does not live where he said he lives. That is a crime. That is a felony. Those was his words and not my words. And so if you want our youth to have to see examples, more is taught than taught. You have to be an example. If you say something, because see, children and young folk, they're very particular. I know about that one. They don't see, they want to see not what you say, but what you do. They follow your example. And how can you talk about crime and you commit crime? I have no friends in the world, no enemies. We come here to hear the truth. And it's wrong to run for an office and you don't live in the ward where you say you live. That is wrong. Whether it's the first ward or the third ward.
Okay. Again, this question was centered around youth engagement and crime reduction. A significant portion of crime involves young people. What initiatives do you support to provide at-risk youth with alternatives to crime, such as job training, mentorship?
Well, I support a couple of programs where I don't know the names of them, but one of them is right here now. I see him on Tuesday, Mr. Dante. And talk to some of the young men on the slide. If I find a young man that needs the services that he offers, I will do it. So I do that a lot. And also, I'm presently starting a ninth grade basketball team, trying to use that to influence the kids a little bit. And I also am doing a Flint Kids Matter March on June 21st. And at that meeting, I'm going to have people like Dante here, parents, trying to connect, because it is a lot of organizations out here that are working with kids and stuff like that. And also, probably try to hook them up and connect with some of these organizations that have jobs, some jobs for these kids. So maybe they can get together and help keep these kids off the street. Maybe we can get some more communication. But and in the meantime, if anybody else is doing anything positive to involve kids, I'm always there to support. I never, you doing this with somebody. My motto is, if it's good for Flint, I don't care who behind it or me. I mean, real talk. You can be a proposal person that has a title and stand by and just watch our city get dark out like a young man getting shot in the back and not say a word. You can do things like that. But if you have sponsored a water project, guess what? I'm gonna be right there with you, help you put water in it. You know, that's my motto. Just keep it real. Whatever good for the city of Flint. I don't care how much you lie on me all you want to. If you do something that's good for the city of Flint, I'm gonna stand with you. But a lot of people in our city, they got, if I ain't in front of the county, if my organization ain't heading this, I ain't with it. And that's why our city can't go nowhere. But one good thing about our city, and it's a bad thing too, 89% of it. So if we can get 20% of those not involved, get involved, and get behind real candidates, that way I won't become the next Eric May that have to run 19 times before they finally come their systems and vote for the person that they Thank you. Hopefully that ends on May the 6th.
Can you hear me? Thank you. So the next question is about gun violence and illegal firearms. Gun violence remains a major concern in the city. What policies or partnerships would you advocate for to address the presence of illegal firearms and prevent violent crime in the third ward?
Man, that's a great question. And I ain't gonna lie, we got a serious problem. And we need to have meetings and discuss. How we gonna get rid of these guns? How many of y'all know what a ghost gun is? Can we talk about that? How we gonna get rid of these ghost guns? We really need to get together and get rid of these ghost guns. And guess why we need to get rid of the ghost guns? Those are the guns that these kids are making. A gun that they are ordering parts from the internet or whatever, put together, walk around here and do it.
It's going. I mean, you got more people than the other ones.
So I'm willing to start a conversation because that's something that needs to be done. And then after that, I'm just going to continue to do what I do, and I hope everybody else is out here trying to church fighters continue to do what they do, and hopefully we can get through everybody's head to where they stop creating these mental I hear so many people that's fed up, and I'm talking about people that vicious in the street, serve time, but they are fed up with innocent children and parents that's being measured and looking at life, and the lack of movement. Just imagine if this was the good old days when this whole neighborhood was full of black businesses. With this kind of behavior, we couldn't be functioning up and down the streets like that.
Time.
Well, let me say this. There's legislation already on. Brothers, there's ordinances, there's state legislation, and there's federal about guns. It's illegal just to walk around with an unlicensed gun. You have to follow what the law says. And criminals do not follow what the law says. And there's nothing you can do to eradicate illegal firearms or guns. Nothing. If you could do it, it would have already been done. You could have a buyback program. You know who's turning in guns? Some both regular citizens who turn in some old guns that they had. That's who's turning in. You think the criminals are going down there and turning in the guns? It's nonsense and ludicrous. We are legislators. We create the law, and it's up to the administration or the executive branch to put the law into effect. We create law. And so I see Councilwoman Burns here. I know there's laws and ordinances already on the book. The Bible, the Charter, they're there. And the criminals know they're there. So again, I say that there's nothing you can do but have the police and the administration to enforce the laws that are already on the book. And to create another law, come on, a safe zone, the whole city of Flint is a safe zone. According to the ordinances, the state law and federal law. Thank you.
So we're going to move on to the next topic, which is economic development related questions. So the first question is related to attracting businesses. The third ward has significant land area but lacks major economic investments. What steps would you take to attract businesses, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth in the ward?
Well, first of all, no business is going to come to Flint if your school district is not up to par. When businesses move their families or come to Flint, first thing they look at is a good school district. And do you know in the third ward, there is not one public school in the third ward? No, not one. There is not one private school in the third ward. So what business would want to come to the third ward or the city of Flint where there are no schools or the schools are substandard? Another thing, businesses do not like to come to a community where crime is high. And Flint has one of the highest crime rates in the state of Michigan, right here in the city of Flint. So when we talk about economic development, first of all, you have to have great schools, community schools, neighborhood schools. Crime has to be low. And another thing is that businesses, when they come with a handout. And what you have to do, like John Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. So we are asking businesses, ask not what we can do for you, but what can you do for us? When they come, they want something. They want some handouts. And guess what to shoulder the handouts? The taxpayers. Again and again. And who has the least resources to pay taxes? Senior citizens. I'm finished?
Go ahead. You can finish. Finish up.
Wave the white flag, baby.
You can finish.
Well, right now, I'm interested in finding out when they're going to get done with this Buick work site. Where are they at towards this Buick work site? What kind of plant are they planning on getting there? And what will be the qualifications so we can start getting some of our young folks together and hopefully take some of those 3,000 jobs that was voted on. And I will not give in to another corporation that comes in and tells us, we're gonna give you 3,000 jobs. And then after you get a room, a $72 million tax abatement, they come back and tell you, oh, we need that to clean up. Now, that's what they did. They came back and said they needed $72 million tax abatement to clean up that building. So they gotta clean that up. Then they gotta build a factory. And then the building gotta come there, and then the 3,000 jobs. The conversation should have been, we gotta clean this up, we gotta build, then we got 3,000 jobs. But in 2021, we voted for the 3,000 jobs. There will be no more conversations with me on that council being coming to the city like that. And then of course we will have to do what you're gonna do for us because I forgot what it's called. But it's some kind of agreement between the company and the city where they have to do something for the city when they want to bring the business in. So that's the first thing. And immediately, I would just like to talk, because we got a lot of bright minds in our city that want to open up youth clubs, that some of them might want to get in the marijuana business, some of them want to open up stores right here in the city. And maybe we can create some kind of way to where I would say this, it's better to make a nickel every day
Time.
than a quarter every room. In other words, charge them a little bit less, and let some black businesses open up in our city.
Okay, this next question says, what supporting small businesses? Many small business owners in Flint struggle with funding, resources, and red tape. How will you support local entrepreneurs, small businesses that help them thrive?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm pleased to say that I was once a small business in the city of Flint. And I brought my documentations from Laura. I own Ace Demolition. And I had this contract to tear down houses under the late Woodrow Stanley demolition contractor. And you can look it up under Laura, look under Ace Demolition, and my name's going to pop up. So I understand small business. One thing I understand about small businesses, it's difficult because when you have small businesses, we're talking about insurance. We pay higher insurance than big businesses. When you talk about small businesses, bonding, do you know black businesses, small, that cannot even get bonding? Whereas you have capital, action capital, they get money. But the contractors, the black contractors that I forged with capital action, they talk about community engagement as Council Person Burns said, to tell them they need to hire a black contractor. And they did it. Those are small businesses. And also encourage them to hire contractors from the city of Flint, small contractors from the city of Flint, and they did it. So if you want small businesses, you have to make it very, very easy for them. As legislators, we can tell the city clerk when it's talking about fees that will be coming up in the budget, fees, to lower the fees, make it easy. Thank you.
Well, like I said before, we need more businesses with less red tape, and less taxes. It's better to charge a lot of people a little than a couple of people a lot. So yes, we need to cut the red tape, make it easier for businesses to operate, as in us, because it's supposed to be businesses around here. So we need to think about having our own. And to be successful, we need to think export. We need to think export. It's possible to run it up dealing with Flint, but it's very good when you got something that's shipping out. That's a lot more opportunity when you ship out besides just concentrated.
Okay, so we're gonna move to utilizing land, vacant land, and buildings. The third ward has a high number of vacant properties and empty lots. How would you work to repurpose these spaces for economic development, such as new housing, commercial development, or community projects?
Well, first of all, during the offering that was stated, remember the green space? Remember when they put the ordinance together that you couldn't build? Do you know if my house burned down today, or your home, you couldn't build in that same place where it burned down? That's because legislators, council members blew it. Only thing they build now are apartments. That's the truth. So you have to know what you know. The green space. Y'all remember the green space? How wonderful it's going to be? We can't even build houses. They do have a subdivision that has been in the third ward for 20 years that was being in development. They're finishing up that. But you cannot build in the city of Flint because of ordinances that councilpersons have. Green space. Everything now is green space. That's terrible. So, we have to change these ordinances, number one. We got stuff on the book. We need to change these ordinances. We're not going to build, they got more affordable apartments at $2,000 a month. Affordable apartments. I lie now. They're building them up everywhere you see. Affordable apartments. Sister, the queen of the sixth ward got some affordable apartments coming up in her ward. All over the city. But what affordable apartments in the third ward? They got some in the fifth ward. But those are not homes. We need homes. We need homes. paying $1,400 a month. And that's subsidy. Thank you.
We're in a serious hole. I remember a time when a lot of this grass and dirt was on. And I really wish that we would have maintained those homes. And we got a lot of people in our city that don't have problems with law. They've been doing them well. Paying $500-$800 a month for rent a year. I really wish we could have rehabbed some of those homes and gave it to some of those people that may be having, college debt, bad car bills, something like that. But when it comes to keeping that roof over their head with receipts, no problems for years, I really wish we could have kept our city going by transfer. But now we got an even more serious fight because we got to fight. This is a lot of land and dirt. And for the next 4 years, they're going to be making more land throughout our city. But we got to fight to have homes built. And not only do we have to fight to get homes built, but we got to fight to get affordable homes. So we got to fight on our hands. Because if they wanted to do it, we wouldn't have to talk. It would be done. So it's a plan for why all of our city in terms of all these nice homes into this grass and dirt. Right.
Oh, yeah, we were. They need to stop turning the mic off every time.
Carry next one. So we're going to move into water crisis related questions. So the first one is ongoing water contamination issues. Many residents in the third ward still report issues with their water quality. What immediate steps would you take to ensure all residents have access to clean and safe drinking water?
That's a miracle. Because it costs more than $267 million to fix our infrastructure. I wish, because like I said, now what we going into phase 2, where they changing households and stuff, they got a couple of buys left, something like that, be in between finishing the first phase and the second phase. And the third phase is changing all of these water mains throughout our city. Once again, we've been misled. How many people have their water line changed and still require a filter? Think about it. When I was in the meeting, when they were talking about doing phase 2, I asked the question. When phase 2 is done, will our water be tap drinkable? And the answer is no. So, the worst thing that ever could have happened, and it had already happened, and it's going on 11 years. Pity anybody that wanted that water solution. But you can't look at the past and see what we're going to be looking like 11 years ago. So, the thing that I want to do, because I opted out of that settlement, I ain't opted in. From day one, I said, that's not enough money. No matter how many people said it was, you got to get your own attorney. I can't wait till they give up whatever they're going to give up. And I don't understand why attorneys, if I was an attorney, I'd be running all over the city. Because there's way more people like me that did not join in this also.
Hello.
So,
Time.
thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to salute former Mayor Karen Williams-Weaver. It was Dr. Weaver who did not have a vote, but she had a voice. And when the people elected her, the first thing on the top of her agenda was to declare a water crisis, an emergency water crisis in the city of Flint. And so, Dr. Weaver, we salute you. And I do want to say this. It was the ordinary people, like Art Woodson, Claire McClinton, others that knew and was out there telling them that water was bad. And I give honor where honor is due.
Yeah.
And I want to let you know, over $700 million have come to the city of Flint for the water crisis. Not one red penny has been given to the residents of the city of Flint. But you know who got the money? What? 501c. They got it. And you know who else? The JDs. You know what the JDs are? Jersey doctors. The lawyers. They got it. But what did we get? Absolutely nothing. And I'm going to read this right here. We're talking about the water crisis. I'm delighted that I was one of the first with the NAACP when I served with NAACP. We were the first in the city of Flint graduated to file a lawsuit against those who poisoned us. The NAACP, and I was named one of the plaintiffs in their lawsuit. I'm going to speak. Brother Clack, can you give us just a little bit of, we got 2 hours, a little bit of this. Anyway, don't know us out call the police if we don't. Oh, okay, then. I didn't want to be out of order. I didn't want to cope. Okay, then, listen. I'd like to read this. In live, July 13th, 2021. Flint residents asked judge to reject $641 million water crisis settlement. This came from MI. AC Dumas speak as 15 Flint residents addressed U.S. District Judge Judith Levy, stating their objection to the $641 million water crisis settlement. Those I said AC Dumas. Been out there a long time. Genesee County was held in Genesee County on Tuesday the 13th, downtown Flint. After a 3-day fairness hearing this week, the judge must make a final decision whether the settlement of civil lawsuits by residents in the state of Michigan, city of Flint, McLaren Regional Medical Center, and Road Professional Services. But not only was I just one, let me name those that were there. See, we have history that's important. We had former mayor who testified.
I'm counting you down.
Former Mayor Karen Williams-Weaver, the late First Ward Councilman Eric Mays, community activist Chris Delperoni, activist Claire McClinton, activist Andre Young Muhammad,
Take it too long.
Pastor Freeline Railfield, James Moore.
Time. Sorry.
He gave me a little.
I gave you a lot.
I got 4 more names. Can I name them?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give the honors due. Jolena Freeman, Patrice Batiste, Deborah Holmes, Claudia Perkins Milton, Diane Fletcher,
You said
and
4.
the late Woodrow Stanley, the former mayor of the city of Flint, former councilman, former Tennessee County Commissioner, and former state representative. Those were the individuals that testified about the rock.
So we're now going to move to affordability and village issues. Many Flint residents continue to struggle with high water bills despite ongoing water quality concerns. What policies would you support to ensure fair and affordable water rates for residents? Mr. Dumas.
But number one thing that's on my mind is that KWA water. And to be honest, if I'm gonna do something about that KWA water, that means the city of Flint will have to do something about that KWA water. But once again, if they didn't like the way it was, it wouldn't be like it. That KWA water that held over our heads is not mentioned for years. So, just to keep it 1,000 with the people, if y'all really want something done in this city, y'all gonna have to do a little bit more scaring than what y'all do. Ms. Claire has been up in front of the city council with solutions about how to help people get more water bill. Nothing happened. Been other residents that will suggested how to get help. And through the few contacts that I have met, because I know people that have hardships, and they call me, and I turn them over to people who they get some help with their consumers and stuff like that. But I would love to sit down with different parts of our state that have affordable water rates and discuss and bring to the table ways for our citizens to spend water bill. 1,000. If y'all really want your water bills cut down, stand up and demand that they pay that find another way to get that KWA from. Thank you.
Well, let me say this. On a water bill, another proof that I did what I say I did. You know, my water bill. Well, how do we lower the water rates? First of all, the master fee schedule. Lower the water and sewer fees. Do away with it. If you don't pay one, if you don't use no water, you still got a $45. Well, I have to guess if I can look at my bill. You have a $45 service charge for sewer. Wait, scratch that. 28 for sewer, and then for water, 28 for just water service charge. If you don't use one drop of water, 28 and 28 is what? How much? Come on. All right. 70, how much?
56.
56. Oh, all right, 56. Listen, 56. Each resident, if you have a water account, you pay $56. You don't even turn on your faucet. That's one way. And you know who's in control of that? The legislators, the council. Do away with that. That's the start. As far as the KWA, listen to you, some agreement is agreement. Nothing we can do about the agreement. It was made, it may have been billed, called, or not, but it's an agreement. Unless the other party agrees to change the agreement is where it is. But we can start locally by saying, hey, you know what? How is it that we used to sell water, now we buy water? The city of Flint used to sell water, but now we buy water. Help me make sense of that. That's because we had bad legislators, bad council persons. They caused this problem, and now I'm here trying to figure this out.
Okay, so now we're gonna switch over to the last topic before we get into the.
Thank you.
So the last topic, the last. We're gonna have a little that. But if you just want to do something, you know, there are they're trying to get a little more with it. But the last topic is community benefits. Okay? Community benefit agreement. Okay. And the definition of a community benefit agreement, or a CBA, is a legal binding contract between developers and community groups that ensures local residents receive specific benefits from a large development project. These benefits can include job opportunities, affordable housing, environmental protections, and funding from community programs. In other words, we're talking about us. Okay. So, first question is centered around ensuring community benefits. If a company wants to invest in its third ward and seeks tax breaks or other incentives, would you require a community benefits agreement, and what specific benefits would you prioritize for residents?
Affordable housing. And to be honest, we're gonna have to do some real negotiating because I'm really not for businesses that actually have a family. My understanding of a real good business is a business plan that didn't require a tax. It would be very nice if Flint could attract some businesses that didn't require a tax. But my main concern would be easing the pain as far as creating affordable housing, home repairs for our residents, and controlling our streets for these spaces. But we really need to concentrate on rebuilding our city. Creating some kind of education or something where our future kids can come up in the city. Because right now, I really don't see our kids. You know, it's this thing that where your offspring is supposed to do better than you. I really don't see a great life for our great grandkids. And I really would love to see a brighter future for our citizens. We gotta rebuild our city. We gotta have our kids something to go
Well, again, Councilwoman Tanya Burns, thank you for the community benefit agreement that you've been pushing. Thank you. And I think they ought to give something back to the community if they want tax breaks. Now, mind you, if they don't get a tax break here, they're gonna go someplace else to get money. Y'all believe in that way. You can be stronghold and say, well, we ain't gonna give you nothing good. I'll go right outside your borders to Burton, go look at the Delphi, the gym plant out there. I'll go to Franklin, I'll go to Flint Township. So you have to be reasonable when you ask for a community benefit agreement. And I think that was the issue that would actually happen. They get everything, then they want to backtrack and say, this is what we want. Too late. The train has left the station. But upcoming, we should be able to negotiate with businesses, corporations. I'm not talking about mom and pop business, but corporations, see what they have, what we offer, what they have on the table. If you think a corporation don't pay all the tuition for every child in the city of Flint, I'm sorry, you're not going to do it. But there's some things that they can do. And I think Councilwoman Burns and three other like-minded councilpersons are trying to hash and work this out. The community benefit agreement. This should have happened years ago, and it did happen years ago. That's when we had a strong politician. No, we ain't doing nothing. So this should do this. That's when Flint is strong. We had the money rolling. Let's say amen for our commissioner, Del Rico Lowe. All right. The station is my kind. So that, community, thank you, Councilperson Martin. Thank you, our commissioner, for pushing it through.
Okay, we got time for one more before we get questions. And which one do I think? Here we go. This one is enforcing accommodation. How would you ensure that corporations and developers follow through on their commitments in the CBA? And what consequences should they face if they fail to deliver on the promises?
Well, first thing that we do is go into the charter and follow the reason we did on our part of it. And one thing that I will be looking for is those contractors that like the low bid and then come back and say, yeah, we need this, we need this. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't agree with that. I would try to go back and renegotiate the job. It's sad that in our city, the lowest bidder ain't always the one that gets the bid. And sometimes, a lot of times, they have to come back and try to change the contract. I would hope that the committee meeting would work a lot better, ask a lot more questions to the point where we won't be making agreements with companies like that. What I was saying is, I would be more involved and have more legislative meetings, committee meetings, to where questions would be answered. This just in front of my face, and I'm voting yes or no, that's not good enough. It would be a lot of deep investigation into all of the corporations. It is awesome.
I want to read, turn your mic on.
It's on.
So this question is centered around enforcing accountability. How will you ensure the corporations and developers follow through with their commitments in the CBA? And what consequences should they face if they fail to deliver?
All right. When they renege, in other words, when they fail to follow the agreement, what are their consequences? Several. First of all, you can take it to court. First of all, secondly, you can call back the tax break that they were given you. Do you hear me? If you give them a tax break and they fail to honor the agreement, the city of Flint can take back the tax break. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. And if you take back the tax break, I guarantee you, they're going to do what they said they would do. You just can't break the agreement. You just can't break the contract. grades. And what did they do? Look out of here. Why? Because we didn't have an agreement. All clear that she's ready, so I'm gonna shut up. They got some questions. Fine. If you fail to do what you say you do, it's a penalty. And it should be a penalty.
Thank you. So the next portion of the forum is engagement. So is there anyone here that would like to ask a question? Let's move back. So I hate to ask you to come up here. Okay, I'll go back.
Oh, you smart.
It's not even on.
Yeah, it's I'm about to die again, but it's on. Mm-mm. You good? It's on. It's on back here.
Hey, I gotta stand.
They should prioritize. They should prioritize engaging with the public in person, allowing dialogue between the citizens and the future elected officials or elected officials. I noticed that the people who are not interested or do not have to prioritize in attending these events, as they are elected, they get even worse, and they do not engage with the people. So what I'm asking is that the people that will be voting for the third ward council seat take recognition that some people are not prioritizing coming to speak to you and give their views of what is a priority for them, what their character is, what their experiences are, and they don't feel like it's important to engage with you, do not go for them. And if you can attend as an ambassador at the newscast that is out, but you can't come to engage with your public, you are not prioritizing your goals. So I'm asking you, how do you, each one of you, plan to engage your citizens if elected, and then after elected, do you still plan on being involved? A lot of people that I see that run, once they lose the election, you never see them. So
Let them answer the question.
explain what do we plan on doing to engage citizens?
Well, that was a very good question, and I agree with you. But I've been on Jordan Board. I've been engaging with the residents of the third ward. I know what the needs of the third ward is. It means a lot. Those goofy council rules that they have down in goofy. When I'm elected, Sister Burns, we're gonna get 5 votes, and we're gonna change those goofy council rules. It should be interaction. You know, time passed, and I've been going, one person in this city of Flint on more council meetings than me that's doing proprietary. No one, far lower than I am. And they used to engage. If you came up and said, well, I've got a problem with a water bill, that council person would stop right there and say, well, Madam Citizen,
It's 7 o'clock.
You get with me after the meeting of this and that. Engagement. And that's what people want, engagement. You have to engage with your children. Parents, you have to engage with your children, your grandchildren. Engagement means a lot. And I give you this. I'm engaging as I go door to door, if I get on city council. I'm going to continue to engage after we change those goofy rules, after we put a charter amendments to the public that change the charter, some of those goofy charter rules. That's what my commitment is. Thank you.
What I will do is, I will start up my first and and third Saturday of the month, where I will try to allow you to do it. I did it before, and I will definitely do it again, and I will use my seat in order to let the third ward residents know about that meeting, the first and the third. And the reason why I will have that meeting on the first and the third Saturday, the first Wednesday of the month, is when you have a meeting. The first and the third Wednesdays. So you'll be having that Saturday meeting in between your annual council meetings are the second and the fourth Mondays. So when you will have a community meeting with your constituents, going into your council meeting and after you had your committee. So hopefully, whatever you discuss in your committee meetings and what was going to be presented in council, you can talk about on Saturday, and then you can take your award with you when you go to the city council on Monday. Another thing that I would fight for is having more city council meetings in the community. I mean, just to keep it real, we say, y'all gotta come down to the city council. But then we say, the city council gotta serve the people. When I was doing this Saturday podcast, little meeting at Grace Church, Claire was one of the people that supported it. And she told me a little bit of Flint history, where they had city council meetings in the city with the residents. I think she said something like they went ward to ward, having meetings or something. I'm not sure. I didn't see it, but I feel we need it because we do not have community
Time runner.
communication
And
the city of Flint, and it's all residents here. Thank you. So, once again, like I said, I have to really drill in because win, lose, or draw, this is something that needs to be done in our city. Our elected officials do need to have more meetings with everyday people. They do need to have more community meetings with everyday people. And then maybe we can make the change that is necessary in our city. Right now, there's a disconnect. Thank you.
I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait. Ladies first. Ladies first. Ladies first. I'm not gonna be polite no more. No.
Okay. So stability and mutual accountability are very important for productive relationships. How would each of you ensure that your actions will promote stability and mutual accountability?
What's the question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, yep.
You want the question again?
No, I heard because I believe in integrity. I believe in character. Those are some things that just look on the mind. And if you say that you got it, if you got it, it should be displayed. You'll never see excuses. Neither have you ever seen excuses. Shame my God. The Dumas name because the name is rather be chosen. Is silver and gold. My church or my community. I believe in stability. I think we can disagree without being disagreeable, nasty. Let me use that. You may have a difference of opinion because tooth and tongue follow out all the time. How many ever pinch your tongue? Well, you don't go to Dr. Weaver and tell Dr. Weaver to take out my teeth because they fall out. I just use that as an example. Husband and wife, they have a disagreement. But every time you have a disagreement, you can't run down to the divorce court. In counseling, you're going to have debates, heated debates, but you can do it civilly. You don't have to get nasty, get low. You don't have to do that. It's a way you can do anything. I'm just saying, that's my take. I can't speak for other people on it. That is what I've been taught. That is what I practice. I believe you have to be civil anywhere, not only in council meetings, wherever you go, civility. Because my mom used to say, boy, don't cut up out there, or you bespeaks me. So I do better than cut up anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep being me. Simple as that. Keep being me. I keep my word, stand with my people. I'm not a pancake, I'm not a sellout, I'm not a rubber stamp. Just keep being me. And I gotta be accountable to these people that don't go to city council meetings, don't know what's going on in our city. It's people that don't even know that water bills are gonna be increased.
That's not the question.
But I gotta keep my word to these people that I'm gonna be coming around and I'm gonna help them stay informed. And I'm gonna keep pushing them to get involved. Because like I said before, it's 89% of our cities that are not
I'm
involved.
sure it's hilarious.
And if I can just get 20% to move
I
with,
give him credit though. He won't quit.
maybe some changes that should have been made years ago can be made in the future.
They say you
Family.
got nuts.
Oh
Yeah. When Dr. Beverly was in office, we knew every address where our service lines would be changed. We knew where they were, and road restoration, and everything else. Now that we have new council members who is not around when all this was going on, they don't know how to even begin.
we knew his voice.
My question is, what being a good vote, because you will be the good vote, the deciding vote. What will you do to bring transparency back to the city council of water crisis? And talking to Eagle, EPA, bringing all of them in front of you, how would you go about bringing transparency back so that the residents will know what's going on, and we know, as far as getting tested and everything else? What would you do?
Serve them and have them come to the city of Flint and answer some tough questions. The same way we should have did Rick Snyder. Serve them. Bring them down here and let people like Dr. listen. Ask them some questions. Serve them. Or get together and go down there and keep it going. Gotta do something. Or we can been doing for 11 years talking about. Either you can serve them, in which I'm not afraid to serve nobody. But the question is, would I get 5 votes if I serve somebody? If I was successfully serve somebody, will I get the support from the city to make sure that they come down and ask the questions? Straight up, I'll serve. If they need to come down here and ask some questions, I will call for them to come down here and help them answer some questions. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Wilson, what's to ask complex question? And I would have to rely on individuals like yourself, Dr. Weaver, other individuals, Ms. Claire and other ones, to advise me. There's nothing wrong with having advisors. And let me know where the issues are about the number of, we had an index card, remember that? Here, y'all, see, I know this stuff back and forth. But to answer your question, I would reach out to community professionals that know about Flint wildlife, that lived, that was part of it. And I know that you were a major part of it. And I know that Dr. Weaver, Mr. Clay, and others, that's what I let them know this is what we should do. I ain't trying to serve nobody no papers. What I am doing, I want to get knowledge because I tell you, I'm not the water side. Only thing I know is that I buy water. But water came out of me, but to get cleaned up, clean the house. That's what I do. And I'm going to say this, no one has all the answers. No one has all the answers. It has to be a collaboration. That's where partnerships come. We are our brothers and sisters.
Yeah. You got the mic in here?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Good afternoon. My name is Shamar Johnson. I'm the son of LaShawn Johnson, who is also a candidate and working for Third Ward. He's also an ambassador. I was just going off what Richard Jones said. He said we need to have more community meetings around here. LaShawn Johnson, she is hosting the Third Ward community conversation on April 9th.
Questions for the candidate?
With all the children in the neighborhood, with our youth is our number one important thing. We have youth dying every day in the summer. How y'all gonna stop the crime rates go up? Are y'all gonna go with the jobs for the city of Flint or no? The jobs for the youth jobs, the summer jobs. Y'all are trying to stop the crime rate getting low. I know because I am a 19-year-old. And I have friends that's in gangs and stuff like that, and they're trying to find a way to get out. You want our youth to get out of gangs and support each other